So,
Hi, friends. We're here. We're doing it. Hi, my name's Mia Park, and this is my interview series called In Response Interviews with Intriguing Internalizers. So, I'm fortunate enough to know some very, very cool people and interesting people around the world. Very lucky to call them my friends. And I thought it was now's a really good time to touch base with them and see what's making them tick on the inside in response to what's happening on the outside. It is May 20th, 2020. We are still dealing with this global pandemic of COVID-19. And that's why I thought this would be a really helpful interview series with interesting people like Kamal Saad, who right now is in Egypt. Hi. We met at a
hi.
yoga teacher training, actually in Austin, Texas, but Kamal lives in the Middle East. So I don't know. You bop around. We'll get to that in a second. But
I'm everywhere.
you are everywhere. I'm a kid. He's what country is he in? Where's Kamal? But anyway, so we met in a yoga teacher program preparatory for yoga therapy, and Kamal is on the physical side, very strong, like Ashtangi, very strong physical practice, but also a very thoughtful and kind person for being such a buff guy, you know?
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. So is there anything else you'd like people to know about you?
Yeah, thank you, Mia, for having me today in your show. I like the idea. Intriguing internalizer. It's a very unique name, you know. I didn't see this word before, but it's a nice one.
Well, that's because I
Uh,
made it up.
yeah, it's a very unique. Thank you for having me in your show. I wish you best of luck. And it was my pleasure to see you in yoga therapy last year. And yeah, I'm now in Alexandria, my home city. I'm from Egypt, and my name is Kamal. I have been raised and born in Alexandria. Alexandria, it's Middle East. We are in the Middle East in Africa, Egypt, as you know, and we have this Mediterranean style. Our social, our culture looks like Italian culture a little bit, you know, the kind of intimacy and social gathering and all this stuff, hugging, kissing, you know, joking, all such kind of stuff we have here in Egypt. So I've been raised here in Alexandria. I have been working and I had been graduated as a veterinary medicine doctor. I worked as a vet for 1 year here in Egypt. Then I went with the flow to work in the sales and pharmaceutical industry for around 17 years. I have been attracted to pharmaceutical industry because of, you know, the financial income and the way the lifestyle and all this stuff. I stayed in Egypt for around let's say 4 years working in pharmaceutical. Then I moved to Dubai. After moving to Dubai, I moved everywhere. After that, I moved to different states in United Emirates, and I worked until 2018 in pharmaceutical industry. Then I decided to quit and change my career. And I have been starting teaching yoga in 2013 in Dubai as a freelancer, and I like the idea. I studied 500 hours in Dubai. Then I found very unique yoga therapy school in the States, the Viniyoga School, our school. And I'm studying till now the yoga therapy. Since 2016, I'm studying yoga therapy. I still have 2 more years to get graduated. That's about me, about my career. And in between, I studied different things during this year. I'm adding on my study as a yoga therapist. I'm adding now the osteopathy study. I'm studying osteopathy to get osteopath, not doctor, but manipulator. So I can handle manual osteopathy. That will take around 1 year to get certified and get my license. Meanwhile, I'm studying online now massage therapy. So I'm seeking to get a kind of triple therapy, a triple license, to work with, you know. And nowadays, you need to have, you need to be very unique in your education and your talent, your skills, just to move on in the life, you know.
Yeah. What I
This
see
is a
is,
brief about me.
oh, thank you. So what I see is a common thread through your career choices. I think on one way they look different, like went from working with animals to selling humans pharmaceutical things, and now you're doing a lot of different degrees to help people. Um, I do see a thread through that of taking care of others, taking care of animals, and even though pharmaceuticals is sales, you could have been selling truck tires, but you're selling medicine to people. And I know that's a high income business, but it still is in the medical field, I think, as a form of caring for people. And then I see you shifting your transitions into caring for people, literally hands on for massage when we're allowed to do that again, but also as a yoga therapist and all these things. So I still see a common thread through your choices. Um, so thank you for telling us a little background on you. So I like to, in this series, I like to ask people what their outside response is to where you are right now in the outside world. Alexandria, Egypt, you said. And then following up with inside of your heart and your mind and how you're responding from the inside just to life and the world right now.
So if we are talking about the current situation of COVID-19, I don't know from where they came from this name, but again, COVID, according to COVID-19 era now. As I told you, here in Egypt, we have this kind of social integration. So such kind of intimacy, relationship, and uh, and nowadays, if you know, I don't know, you know that or not, we have a very holy month. It's called Ramadan. So we are fasting the whole month for 30 days, maybe 29 days. So we are fasting around 14 hours, and we get our first meal. We call it Maghrib prayer. So by 6:30 p.m. and then we keep on taking our meals till the next day 5 a.m. This holy month is very unique for Muslims and for Egyptian as well, because Egypt we have this kind of traditional, we have a mix between the Muslim tradition and ancient tradition, Egyptian tradition. So we like gathering and we like to be with family, especially in Ramadan. So every day, if everyone going to have the breakfast, we call it iftar, together with family. Now with COVID-19 and with lockdown, it's very challenging for Egyptian not to be in social connection, and that kind of social connection. I mean, so we miss here in that part in Egypt. Meanwhile, as a holy month, it's a good time to connect with God, and we most of the prayer we pray in the mosque, and we have a very unique prayer at the end of the day. It's like a gathering prayer. So we used to have such kind of gathering, but nowadays we don't have because of again the lockdown. So it's a little bit hard here to live in such a kind of social distancing. I'm not with this kind of the name of social distancing. We can name it another name, maybe physical distancing instead of social distancing, because we can communicate in a social way. Now we are communicating, we see each other, we have talk, you know what is going on here, I know what is going up there. So we are communicating, there is life. So it's not a social distancing, it's a physical distancing with a social communication in a safe way. So this is the situation here now. Awareness here as everywhere. We are aware, most of Egyptian aware about the risk, but here's the culture. There is gap between the culture and awareness. In a way, even if they are aware about the risk of COVID-19, you find some people still, having the same social habits, like hugging, kissing, and all this stuff. And you have other people, they are very anxious. They don't need to touch anybody. Like everywhere, you have different kind of people, and you have a balanced people. They will into the extreme, not very social and not very disconnected. So we have both, but majority here, life is going on, and people trying to be more aware by time.
Okay, yeah, it's a very unique. I know you have about 3 more days, I think, of the holiday. So
Exactly.
I can imagine it's been very challenging. I didn't know that Egypt had kind of an Italian cultural influence of the kissing and hugging. I think that geographically, Egypt is in such a unique place because you're on the northern part of that African continent, but Europe is like right across the water, right? So you have a lot of cultural, really big, and then you have your own indigenous cultural influences. It's amazing. But I want to hear
Yeah.
now. Thank you for that. I want to hear about what's happening inside of you in the country of Kamal.
Yeah. In which state of Kamal?
I know. Yeah, this which state? I don't know. Or this one.
Actually, that's good because since I started practicing yoga in 2013, and I started actually practicing yoga by coincidence. I was just a part about culture also. Maybe I'll connect with is we have such kind of perception about yoga before, but not now, I guess. We have this kind of feeling that's very boring practice because we had a movie, old movie, Egyptian movie. One guy was trying to just approach his girlfriend, and she was practicing yoga. She was sitting like a meditation mood for 2 hours. So all Egyptian got the impression that this is yoga, just sitting for 2 hours. That's it. And then I had the same perception when I went to Dubai. So everybody said to me, "Why don't practice yoga? I feel tight while doing weightlifting and all this stuff." Uh, then again, as a reflection from my previous reference or frame of reference, I'm not with yoga concept, guys. What are you talking about? Then I went for one class. I found myself shaking, and I found myself I'm not doing a lot of stuff the teacher is saying about it. And this guy changed my life actually. After class, he told me that I don't know why he told me that you will be a good thing in yoga, and don't even think about studying yoga or practicing yoga more. But he motivated me. Why I'm saying that because sometimes one word can change a life or one person. So we had to be a good listener, and even if somebody give you advice and it seems like it's not a good advice, one word of his advice, it will reflect on you. So we had to be an active listener. Then I started yoga practiced in 2013. For 2 years, I have been taking yoga as a physical practice. And then after I started to study yoga therapy, and I know more about my breath, my mind, how to connect with each other. So now it's helping me. I can find it now in this epidemic as an internalizer. I'm already doing practicing since 2000, let's say 2015. Yoga therapy added me put me on the right track to be about self-awareness, to know myself more. I started to layer my awareness, so I started to know well my breath, know well my thoughts, to know where my body is. So my teacher used to say, Gary Croftsall, he used to say that yoga is about discovering the dysfunctional pattern in your life. So and that's it. This is what we are talking about today. So now we have epidemic. Now I'm aware about the epidemic. The way I'm reflecting with epidemic, I took it as an opportunity to study, and I will never reach to that point unless I'm aware about myself. I'm connected with myself since a long time. So maybe if even if you are not practicing it before the epidemic, it's the right time now to just to start to practice being connected with yourself. I see a lot of people when you said to them inhale and exhale from your nose, they start to ask you, we should breathe from the nose. What do you mean by breathing and inhale in 2 seconds or exhale in 2 seconds? What do you mean? Do we have lung in the backside? Do we have lung in both sides of your body? You need such such kind of connection. It will never exist unless You start to study step by step and layer by layer of your life and your body and your energy layers. And it started to connect all these layers and work it in a harmony. So you feel that your breath moving with your heartbeat, with your thoughts, with your body movement, and all connected like a symphony. Like I said, let's say it's kind of a concert. So when you move, when you think, when you look with your eyes, the way you are gazing towards something, the way you are talking, the way you are breathing, all such kind of things, you are trying to connect all this stuff. So this is will help us to, if we have a kind of like epidemic or we have trauma in our life, we stay stable and not in reflecting in a very extreme, very high or very low. So that's my experience and my reflection about the COVID-19 and epidemic. My self-awareness get me more oriented about what I had to do nowadays. I took it as an opportunity to study. So I see COVID-19 is a very good opportunity. We delayed a lot of goals in our life because of go lifestyle. I think now COVID-19 is a good opportunity. Whatever we postponed during the last years, it's the right time now to invest in.
That's great. So we probably have time for maybe one or two more questions. I want to ask you, as a person of faith, what kind of spiritual response are you having to what's happening right now?
So as I told you, now we are in the holy month, and it's a very spiritual month to us, and give us a very good connection. And by the way, Ramadan is not only about the physical fasting. So we're not only fasting about meals, but we also fasting uh, from our desires. You know, that the desires, as extreme of our desires. You know, like gossips, like cheating, like harm, be doing harm for anybody, like and all this related to ahimsa. Sorry, about niyama and niyama in yoga. So it's very matching with the yoga itself. So it's a very spiritual month for us. So if you need to get connected with God, you need to ask. You had to show some sort of gratitude for your creator, and this is happening now. And we are doing it actually every day, 5 times in our prayer, thanking God, to showing gratitude and asking God to lead us for the fine line. So we are doing it already every day, asking God gratitude and asking God for fine line. This the holy months of Ramadan give you a good, very good opportunity to practice such a kind of connection in a very good way. And during fasting, your feeling, your reaction is very pure, you know. So it's a good time. One of the good thing about spiritual, every tradition has its own vocal um, talk, like chanting in yoga, like hymn in Christianity, and like Quran with Muslims. So this kind of chanting is a very good thing, or recitation of Quran. It gives off kind of a connection between the cognitive value of Quran, the vibration of the sound, and when you are recitate this kind of Quran words in your mind, you feel different. You know, this kind of connection, we call it salah. So it's like connection. Salah, it means in Arabic, it means connection. We are connected, which means samadhi at the end in yoga. And this is a spiritual part now.
That's so interesting that this global pandemic is lined up with a very holy spiritual month for the faith that you walk in. And like, I appreciate hearing you say that with Ramadan, it's an even better opportunity to see what's going on because things are so different right now. There's a lot of pressure. That's amazing. Well, is there, and we're just at about time. You said so many thoughtful things. Thank you. Is there any last thing you want to share, or I can ask you one more question?
Just I need to emphasize on one thing. Sometimes expression we spread terminologies. Maybe it's not healthy for our system, like the social distancing. This word, I've been reading about the vagal, the polyvagal theory, and about the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And nowadays they discovered that socialization is very, very important for vagal nerve. So you can imagine yourself, you have a social distancing, you're not, it means not to communicate. This is the meaning. So keep distance between you and me. I don't agree with that. So I'm just emphasizing about terminology. Sometimes spreading terminology is it's maybe it causes harm, especially in the coming days with increasing of the stress. Some people will know how to respond with the stress. Some people will lose control. They will shut down. And socialization is one of the important things to avoid any kind of drama could happen in near future, for anybody. Some people living alone, they need to be socialized. Don't stay alone. There is people you can communicate. We have, thanks God that we have internet now, so we can talk to each other.
I agree with you. I am also uncomfortable with this social distancing term. Some people in the States, they're calling it distant socializing. So they flip
Maybe.
it like distant socializing. I like your suggestion about calling it like physical distancing. There's ways around it. And by the way, Debbie Buzil, who's here in Chicago, says, thank you, Mia and Kamal. Thank you for watching, Debbie.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, so we are at about time. I want to thank you so much. You shared, it was very educational for me and also very nice to see you express such honest and heartfelt ideas. So thank you, Kamal. Appreciate that so much.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And you want to like my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have interviews like this going on through June. And Kamal's our representation of Egypt or wherever you might end up next. He likes to move around. But
Dubai.
Dubai,
Maybe
okay.
Germany. I don't know.
Oh, exactly. Who knows with this guy? All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much, Kamal. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.